بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على عبده ورسوله نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We're still discussing and studying the hadiths pertaining and related to riba. If you master these hadiths, if you understand them and comprehend them, you will find that a lot of the transactions that we see can easily be defined whether they're halal or haram. And today we have the hadith number 278, is it? And who will read it? Yes, Akhi.
Narrated Abu al-Minhal, I asked Al-Bara bin Azib and Zaid bin Arqam about money exchange. Each of them said, he is better than I. And both of them said, Allah's Prophet forbade the selling of gold with silver and credit.
Okay, this hadith is quite clear in the sense that two companions, Al-Bara and Zayd, both were asked the same question. What did they do? Each one referred to the other saying that he is better than me, he's more knowledgeable than me. Nowadays in our class, if someone comes and says, brothers, what is the ruling on so and so? 10 of us would speak and say, halal, haram, no, there's a different opinion of scholars, there are two opinions, three opinions. Everybody would be shooting from the hip, with knowledge and without knowledge. And this is not the appropriate thing to do. The companions, whenever they were asked a question, they would give it to the other. Say, ask my brother, ask this one, ask that one. Trying to dodge the questions and not to be involved in it. We have to do the same. Always, don't try to come up front. Don't try to lead. Every time when you are with a group and someone asks a question, if you feel that you want to lead and to be in front of everybody so that they say, oh, mashallah, da'i, scholar, student of knowledge, know that this is from shaitan. If they push you and they force you to come, you don't want to, then this is inshallah good. But also, if you are knowledgeable and you're the only one around and you say, no, I'm not going to speak, I cannot. No, this is wrong. Here it becomes mandatory upon you to speak, not for the sake of showing off, but rather for the sake of showing and teaching the people the truth. So these two companions, each one of them thought of the other to be better than him. And then they elaborated and they answered. Both of them said, the Prophet ﷺ forbade selling gold by silver or silver by gold as in credit. Now, you recall that we said that there are 6 categories mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ as part of riba. Dealing with them is riba. And these 6 are divided into 2, gold and silver, and then we have wheat, barley, dates, and salt. And each 2 groups have or has its own characteristics or qualities for making it riba type. So gold and silver, we said that the cause is being means or power of buying. And the other 4, the barley, dates, wheat, and salt, because it is consumed, weighed or measured by size, and can be stored. So now we come to the first type, first category, silver and gold. We cannot buy and sell silver by silver except equal and similar in weight, in type, and it has to be hand by hand. Gold, likewise, it has to be equal in weight and type. Why do we say type? Because I can have 100 grams of 18 karat gold and you have 16 karat gold, 100 grams. Can we exchange? No, because the gold amount is different. Sheikh, this is 100 and 100. Yes, it's 100 in total, but when you have 18 karat of gold, this means that it has this percentage of gold and this percentage of copper. 16, the gold is less, the copper is more. 14, the gold is less and the copper is more. So it's not the same type. Though 100 gram, 100 gram, but this gold is more than this. So it has to be similar, exact in weight and hand by hand. However, if the types change, then we will come to read that in the second hadith. If they are similar, they have to be hand by hand. Buying or selling on credit is not permissible, even if the types change. Meaning, you have 100 grams of gold, and I say, okay, how much would you sell it in silver? You say, I'll sell it for 3 kilograms of silver. I said, okay, done. You say, I sell, and I say, I buy. Khalas, deal is done. No, it's not done. It has to be hand by hand. So if I take the gold, but do not give the silver, the transaction is void. If I say, okay, I take the gold, I'll just go to my office and bring you the silver in half an hour. Can this be applicable? This is haram. It has to be what? Hand by hand. So let's give another example. Money, dollars versus gold. Can I buy 100 grams of gold, but I'll send you a check? Here is a check. Is this permissible? Yes. Who says yes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Who says no? 1, 2. Good. And the rest? They're unsure, which is good. You don't have to say yes or no if you don't know. Just say I refrain. And that is why the scholars say, whoever says I do not know, this is half of the knowledge. When you hear someone saying I don't know, you know that he's knowledgeable. But when he says, oh yeah, okay. Oh no, it's not okay. So now, writing a check to buy a set of gold, 100 grams. Let's see if the conditions are fulfilled. Is it hand by hand? Yes. Is it? When I give you the check, is there a possibility that he goes to the bank and they say, there's no credit, sorry, no balance? Is there a possibility that they will say the signature does not match? There are hundreds and hundreds of possibilities. So this is not hand by hand. Therefore, it is not permissible to do such a transaction. Can I buy gold or can I buy silver with my credit card? Who says yes? Yes. Who says no? No. Let's look in the transaction of the credit card. When I buy something, does the owner of the shop receives his money immediately? No, he has 40 days. This is the grace period, because you can challenge and say, no, it's not my credit card, and he would not receive it. Maybe he would receive it in a week, depending on the dealing, but it is not on the spot. Therefore, it is not permissible to buy gold or silver with a credit card. Let's see if ATMs, auto teller machine cards, I think they call it. What's the ruling on that? Can I buy gold with it? Yes. The minute he swipes the card, immediately, if he has his bank account on, he would see that $2,000 or $3,000 have been deposited. This means that the transaction is hand in hand. There is nothing wrong in that. Debit card, I'm not sure if it's on the spot or not. If it's on the spot, then it's halal. So this hadith, we learn from it the issue of the importance not to buy gold or silver unless they are hand in hand. Not gold by gold, I'm talking gold by silver, because it's the same category. Now the same applies for the 4 types of food. Can I buy dates with barley? Definitely. Does it have to be same? It can't be. It's impossible. 1 kilogram of dates is different than a kilogram of wheat or barley or salt. But it has to be hand on the spot. Take this kilogram, give me the 2 or 3 or 10 kilograms of the other brand. We move on to the following hadith, hadith 279, which also talks about the same thing but in a different way. Who is going to read it?
Narrated by Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam forbade the sale of silver for silver and gold for gold except equal for equal, and commanded us to buy silver for gold as we desired and buy gold for silver as we desired. A person asked him about the nature of the payment, whereupon he sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, it is to be made on the spot. Abu Bakr radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, this is what I heard from Allah's Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam.
Okay, so this also goes under the same guidelines. You may sell silver with gold and gold with silver, providing that you deliver hand by hand. If there is a gap, if you say, okay, I accept, I'll give you the money, or after 5 days, or etc., this is not permitted and this is not acceptable. Also, this happens a lot because this falls under the category of selling gold and silver, but it also falls under the category of exchange. And what is the category of exchange? This is inshallah what we will find after the break, so stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. What is the concept of exchange? It's the same as selling and buying, because when you exchange silver with gold, what is this? This is selling silver with gold. So money exchange falls under the same category. The Prophet said, it has to be hand by hand, on the spot, which means that if I deal in currency, I have a money exchange shop, you come and say, I need 1,000 euros. And I work my calculator and say, well, this would cost you $1,200. So you say, okay, I agree. So I say, okay, give me 1,200. You give me the $1,200. And I say, okay, come after half an hour and I'll give you your 1,000 euros. And here is the receipt. Is this permissible? It is not on the spot, this is haram. And a lot of the time we do this on personal basis. I come back from UK, I have 100 pounds. My friend is going to UK tomorrow. He says, okay, how much you sell it for me? I say, I'll give it to you 600 riyals. He says, okay, khalas, agreed. Here is the 1,000 riyals. I'll send you a check tomorrow, or when we meet next week, inshallah, I will give it to you. He's my friend, he's my brother. Is this permissible? This is not permissible, it is forbidden. And this is very important for us to know. Sisters, do this. And I get so many questions. A sister says, I have a necklace that I like to get rid of, and my sister has a bracelet that she wants to get rid of. So I will take hers and she will take mine. Is this permissible? I says, no. Sheikh, she's my sister. So even if she is your sister, riba still applies, even if she's your mother. Therefore, the issues of exchanging of silver and gold, you have to be very sensitive. This is one of the major sins in Islam. One of the sins that Allah pledged to fight, to wage war. فَأْذَنُوا بِحَرْبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرَسُولِهِ. This is a notification of war from Allah Azza wa Jal, whoever deals in usury. Also, scholars give another example, and this example is also applicable, though we tend not to pay attention. If I have a 500 rupees bill, and I come to you and say, Akhi, I need, break it. I need smaller bills. So you take your wallet, say 120, 300, okay, I have 450. I don't have 500. It's okay, give it to me, I will take the 50 tomorrow. Permissible? Again, so, Sheikh, what is wrong with this, Sheikh? The hadith is clear. It has to be hand in hand. So if you're breaking it, and the smaller bill, it has to be on the immediate side. As otherwise, put it in your pocket and tell him, give me the 450, inshallah, and tomorrow I will either give it to you 450, or you will bring me tomorrow 50, and I'll give you 500. This is considered to be borrowing, exactly, 500 by 500, 450 by 450. Rather than exchanging and holding something back, this falls under the things that one should avoid. We open the floor to your questions. Okay, first question, and this was long awaited for. Yes, Akhi.
Sheikh, when a woman goes to the jewelry shop and she wants to get rid of her old jewelry, and now she goes to the shop and says, I want to get rid of the old jewelry and purchase a new one. And he sells the old jewelry and takes the money in an agreement that I will purchase the jewelry of the same amount from your shop only. because he will not give the money back, because he says that if you give this old jewelry to me, then only I will give you the new jewelry. He won't agree for the money.
This is considered to be a trick. This is not permissible, because such binding condition means that actually he took the old gold, gave the new gold with extra money. So this is not permissible. It has to be two separate transactions. The first transaction, buy the gold from the woman, give her cash money in her hand, and she has the free will, whether she leaves or whether she stays and buy from you. If you say, yes, I'll do this, but providing that you buy from me, this is not applicable nor permissible. Yes, Akhi.
Sheikh, when we spoke about riba al-fadl, the three conditions that which are to be fulfilled for any commodity to be considered under that is consumption, that we weigh it and then we store it. If suppose, due to the modern technology, we can store certain, eatables for a longer period of time, it can be stored. So will the ruling change on such commodities?
No, the ruling does not change, because Islam talks about what is applicable for all times. So if you can store strawberries in refrigerators for 10 years, for example, again, this is not applicable. It's not considered to be part of the riba types, because Islam talks about something that is applicable 1,000 years ago and 1,000 years in the future. We, alhamdulillah, are privileged to have this technology, electricity, refrigerators, etc., for the past 150 years. But this is nothing compared to the times and the lifespan of civilizations. We cannot be sure that the oil would last for another 100 years and then we will go back to square one, where people have horses, no laptops, no smartphones, no batteries, no plastics, no petrochemicals, nothing. So Islam applies what is suitable for all times and all places. Likewise, can we say that this boy belongs to that fornicator because we did the DNA and it proves that he's the father, so he takes the name? The answer is no. Islam says it has to be through marriage. And if they're not married, even if the DNA proves 100%, this is not applicable and it's not called after that person, and Allah knows best. Yes, Akhi.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Sam.
My question is regarding if I give somebody money, I lend money to my friend, suppose 10,000 bucks. So he returns me after a few months. Because I've helped him a lot, so he gives me a gift, not giving a money because it's considered as riba, extra money. So he gives me a gift. So does that gift regarded as riba?
Now, this is not riba. The Prophet said, alayhi wasallam, the best of you to pay off debts in a kind way are the best among you. Meaning that as long as it's not conditional. Akhi, I need 1,000 euros from you. Okay, here's 1,000 euros, but you know that when you pay off the debt, the Prophet said that you have to be kind, huh? So, yani, remember me. So this type of attitude when you give a loan is not permissible. If you give a loan to help your brother, after 5-6 months he comes and gives you the 1,000 euros and he gives you a pen or 100 euro or a voucher to eat free in a restaurant, this is Jazakallah khair. No, this is riba. No, this is completely permissible. And it's completely advisable so that people would have the confidence in giving others loans, but not anticipating that I will get something in return, because this is haram.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam.
My question is that yesterday we studied that if there are 100 conditions, so it doesn't make a halal thing haram. So in this, the 3 reasons that it can be consumed, stored, weighed, these are also conditions which make the other rice, eggs, which could be halal, haram. So what is the reason when the Prophet...
First of all, the conditions, my friend, that we mentioned few programs ago were in selling and buying. Meaning that I'll sell you my car on the condition that you would not sell it. On the condition that you would not allow black people to come on board. This condition is haram. It's neither in the Quran or in the Sunnah. And it's not your right to control what I own. This is different than when we say that these conditions, meaning these criteria or these qualities or these the characteristics for something to be included within the 4 categories of riba. These are the characteristics. What are they? They should be consumed, they should be stored, and they should be weighed or measured by size. How do we know this? Scholars say that they all agree. These 6 are not only isolated. Definitely the Prophet ﷺ did not say 6 and that is it. No, whatever shares with them the same reason, the same concept, falls under them. And that is why we considered money to fall under gold and silver. Whether it is paper, whether it's coins, anything that we exchange for things is considered. Likewise, it has to be measured by size or weight. It has to be consumed because these 4, they share this thing. And that is why they give it as characteristic, not rather as conditions in sales. Last question. Sheikh.
Presently, the gold prices are at zenith, and paying in cash, and taking the cash to the goldsmith is highly vulnerable, and amount being big. So, is it possible that we pay by check and ensure that the check is passed by having to ensure that the signature is proper, the proper balance in the account, looking to the current scenario? Is it possible?
No, it's not the same. What guarantees do you have for a check? No guarantees. When I sign a check and I give it, that's why the majority of shops would never ever accept a personal check. If you go to the hotel and you sign for your stay in personal checks, do you accept? No. If you go to a shop, because I cannot verify. If it's a friend to a friend, yeah, I know you, I can come back to you. Only a draft, which is authorized and authenticated by a bank. You go to a bank, you give him €1,000 and tell him, I'd like a draft check. So they give you a draft check with their stamp. This is equivalent exactly to money because this is guaranteed to be payable to anyone who has it. So this, inshallah, has the ruling of it. I'm afraid that this is all the time we have. Until we meet next time, fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
أرجو رضاك يا أنت الرحيم.